Hi guys, Sci-Fi Recapped here. Before we start, warning. Spoilers ahead. Today, I'm gonna explain a 2020 American science fiction and thriller movie called The Unhealer. The movie begins with an old and fragile man, Reverend Pfluger, who is doing some kind of ritual at the Indian burial grounds. Suddenly, a lightning bolt strikes which causes him to be thrown away. With a smile on his face, he then goes away, indicating that the ritual succeeds. Scene moves to a teen called Kelly, who suffers from an eating disorder called pica. He rather chooses to eat the styrofoam cup than the ramen inside. Shortly afterwards, his bully classmates, led by Nelson, confront him. They even call him a trash boy. Dominique comes to defend him. However, the boys ignore her and start cramming him into a trash bin while one of them records the action. After the boys run away, Dom offers him a ride to school with Sarah's car, but rejected by Sarah. Long story short, Kelly arrives at school while eating his styrofoam cup. At school, all of his friends are laughing at him because the video has spread among the students. After school, Kelly returns home and meets his mom, Bernice. While helping her, he picks up the receipt and eats it. On the other side, Dom's mom thinks she is falling in love with Nelson, but Dom denies it because it's impossible for her to have a crush on a bully. She is pissed when her mom also thinks that Kelly is a weird boy. Turns out that Dom has had feelings towards Kelly since junior high school. Scene moves to Red Elk, a Native American who just figures out that the hidden power kept in the burial site has been stolen. The eating disorder has brought a negative impact towards Kelly's body. He is weak and undernourished. The doctor cannot help him because he thinks it is a psychological issue. Pfluger finally appears again. This time he claims to have a superpower that can heal any illness. He manages to cure an old woman's disease just by touching her, which shocks all the people nearby. Bernice sees the miracle and asks for the old man's help to heal Kelly. He agrees to do so. Suddenly, Red Elk confronts Pfluger and slaps him, but the pain is transferred to him instead. The old man feels no pain at all. Red Elk then reveals that the healing power does not belong to him and it will destroy him eventually. He urges Pfluger to give the power back, but the cocky old man refuses and goes away. Bernice returns home, bringing Pfluger with him. Kelly's condition is getting worse and he immediately starts the healing process, but it seems that the old man suddenly can feel Kelly's pain. Feeling uncomfortable, he takes a short break and consumes his magic powder. He then continues treating the poor young boy. However, Pfluger feels an excruciating pain when touching Kelly, causing the cigarette to fall down to Kelly's chest. He tries to resist the pain, but he suddenly falls and dies on the spot. A few moments later, Kelly magically becomes more energetic and says that he is hungry. Long story short, the police arrive and one of them, Adler, figures out that the burn hole in the chest caused by the cigarette earlier has vanished, which makes Kelly's mom confused. The next day, Kelly accidentally cuts his finger while fixing his bike, but a miracle happens as the wound magically disappears. He then tries to explain it to his mom, but she doesn't believe him. While on his way to school, Kelly meets Dom and Sarah who are surprised to see him in better shape and more healthy than yesterday. After they leave, Reed, Nelson's brother, confronts Kelly and starts punching him, but the pain is transferred to Reed while Kelly feels no pain at all. He even attempts to hurt him with a block of wood, but fails. Realizing that he can't beat the new version of Kelly, Reed runs away with bruises all over his face. Later that night, Gus, Reed's father and football coach at their school, comes to confirm what happened to his son. Kelly states that Reed hurt himself. Gus doesn't believe him, but Bernice forces them to leave. Kelly finally reveals his pain-transferring ability to his mom, saying that nobody will ever hurt them again. He even can withstand the cigarette lighter. The next day, while in the classroom, Kelly starts his wild imagination, picturing himself with Dom who becomes naughty. Sarah, who hates Kelly in the real world, also joins them. Surprisingly, the sensation from the imagination also affects Dom and Sarah in real life, causing Sarah to scream in pleasure. At a campfire event, the boys try to disturb and seduce Dom, but this time Kelly appears and defends her. They almost engage in a fight, luckily Gus comes and separates them. While on his way home, Kelly is spotted by the boys and they attempt to scare him. Kelly panics and tries to avoid the car. However, he falls off her bike and the car accidentally hits him. But, Kelly is not injured at all and the car driver, Brad, receives all the pain instead, which kills him instantly. The remaining boys are terrified when they see Kelly is okay and run away from the scene. Not long after, the police and the others arrive at the crime scene, where Kelly explains the chronology to his mom and reveals his power to Dom. On the other side, Nelson states that Kelly purposely pulled himself in front of the car and Brad was killed by the airbag. Kelly's relationship with Dom is getting better and better. Kelly even asks Dom out for a date. However, the boys want revenge and plan a strategy. At work, Red Elk confronts Kelly and questions him how he could survive from the car crash. He then reveals that Pfluger helped him and knows nothing about the power. Kelly then returns home where he finds his mom is not in a great condition. He then goes out to buy an aspirin. Outside the house, the boys have been waiting and think that it was Bernice who went away. They execute the plan and start pulling the container's foundation with Gus's car, causing it to fall down and break the gas pipe. Bernice tries to escape, but the house suddenly explodes because of gas leaks, killing her instantly. Kelly returns home and is very shocked when he finds out her mother has passed away. He is brought to the hospital where Adler appears and tries to help him. Suddenly, Red Elk confronts Adler, telling him that Kelly is possessing their ancestors' power and asks him to help him retrieve the power. After his mom's funeral, Kelly goes to Pfluger's grave and accidentally eats a vine, causing him to suffer and vomit. Sarah witnesses the event and goes away. Adler attempts to help the poor kid by offering him to move to a foster family. While on their way, Adler states that the container's supports were purposely pulled out and his mom's death wasn't an accident. A few moments later, Nelson and the boys, who are on their way to the river, meet Kelly and mock him from their car. Since then, Kelly concludes that they are the perpetrators behind his mother's death. He then jumps out from the sheriff's car. Kelly eventually spots the boys who are having fun at the riverside. Tucker jumps into the water and the others start throwing him with rocks. Kelly sneaks in and takes Tucker's shirt. As usual, he eats it before using it to strangle himself. Tucker immediately feels the effect, causing him to drown. Nelson tries to help him while Reed is running away, but it is too late. Kelly then shows up and attempts to do the same thing, but Adler arrives on time and Kelly flees. Tucker is dead and Adler starts interrogating the boys. They tell him that it was Kelly's fault. Having heard about Tucker's incident, Dom urges him to stop killing people. She suggests him to make them confess instead. The next day, in chemistry class, Kelly shows up late and makes fun of Tony, forcing him to admit that he is his mom's killer. Tony is furious and pours chemical solution towards Kelly's face. However, it burns Tony's face instead and instantly kills him. The girls are very shocked and Kelly runs away while Adler arrives at the class. That night, Sarah approaches Nelson, telling him what she saw earlier at the funeral. They go to the Pfluger's grave and harvest the plant that caused Kelly to suffer earlier. Nelson prepares the concoction and stores it in an extinguisher. The next day, Adler finds the chains that were used to pull out Kelly's container supports in Gus's pickup. He then immediately confronts the boys and forces them to confess, but they keep lying, saying that they know nothing. On the other side, Kelly sneaks in and steals a power drill from Nelson's car. He then suddenly shows up with his weapon while Nelson is also ready with his extinguisher. Kelly starts drilling his own knee, causing Nelson to feel the exact pain. Adler finally believes what Red Elk said earlier while Dom comes and tells him to stop. Nelson attempts to shoot him with the liquid which weakens Kelly. Gus takes advantage of this and tries to shoot him with Adler's gun, but the bullet kills him and Nelson instead. Dom is disappointed with Kelly and begs him to give the power back to Red Elk. He then reluctantly agrees. Long story short, Red Elk and Alder begin the power transferring ceremony in front of Pfluger's grave. However, the power has been the part of him and they have no choice but to kill him. Dom helps Kelly to escape, but the police shoot them, causing them to be thrown away to Pfluger's grave. He can't save Kelly and blames the old man for giving him such power. The enraged Kelly then eats Pfluger's heart and suddenly dies. At the end of the movie, in the ambulance, Dom suddenly comes back to life, indicating that the power has been transferred to her. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.